can use this greater than sign. Ya. So kita tengok some terminology dulu lah. Ya. So nanti baru kita tengok some example. Ya. So the greater sign and false, ya. Maksudnya apa? Maksudnya kita akan redirect the standard out to a file. Ya. Mana we are going to write it to a file. Ya. So standard input, ya, gunakan the channel 0. So standard out, kalau kita nak write it to a file, ya. So we use this channel 1 lah, ya. Channel 1 maknanya it will write as a standard output lah, write only, ya. Write only, but instead of the terminal, it will be written to a file. Ya. So kalau ada error, it is going to be identified as channel 2 lah. Kalau ada, kalau tak ada apa-apa lah keluar. Ya. Okay. Kalau kita gunakan double ni, ya. So double greater than is to append to a file. Maknanya file tu dah ada content. So dia akan add to the existing content. Ya. Ini tadi dia akan override. Ya. So any content yang dah ada dalam file ni will disappear lah. Ya. Will be overwritten. Ya. Okay, ya. So ini kita, kalau you notice, we don't put any channel, ya, before the apa kita kata ni, di sign tadi, ya, sama ada greater than or double greater than, ya. So we just take the default one, ya. So default value lah, ya, sama ada output, ya, dia akan gunakan channel 1. Kalau tak ada, dia akan menggunakan, kalau ada error, dia gunakan channel 2 lah, ya. So berbeza kalau kita letak 2. So 2 tadi apa dah? Channel untuk error, ya. So error we will write to a file, ya. So that's why from this command lah, kalau kita kena 2 greater than file, so dia akan write the error to a file, ya. So yang tak ada error, dia akan consider as standard out lah. So dia akan display to the terminal, ya. So kalau 2 and then greater than to device null, ya. So we are going to discard the error, maknanya kita akan ignore lah, ya. Ignore the error message, ya. Maknanya macam we put it in our bin lah, ya. Our bin. So it is going to be removed lah, ya, all the error messages. Okay. So kalau yang tak ada error, so still we are going to display on the terminal. Okay, so what does it mean here? Kalau kalau greater than to a file, so we write the output, yeah. So we send the standard out, okay, to a file lah, ya, sebab ini file, and the error to ~1, ya. So as well as the standard error, so we are going to overwrite the same file, ya. Yes, so the standard error yang dah already written to a file, so kalau ada error lagi, is going to be overwritten lah, ya. So kalau kita nak override, kita nak append, we use the greater than, ya. So the same case here lah, ya. So we do the ampersand greater than file, ya. So it is a same representation of these two command lah, ya. Okay. So ampersand ini meaning the output, ya, as well as the error will be written to this file, ya. So dia akan override lah, ya, sebab we use only a single greater than sign, ya. So these are link kalau you notice kan. So if you notice, yeah, the here, yeah, so those are going to be included together, yeah, both the standard input, standard output, as well as the error. Okay, so that's another way of redirection lah. So again, macam tadi ya. So this is to append ya, maknanya greater than file and dua to %1 ya. So or simply we write this command ya. So this command is going to append ya. So same thing. So one is to override ya, you override, and this one to append ya to the same file. Okay, both the output and the error. Okay, so let's see some example. So kita tengok some example daripada the manual as well. Okay. So date command ni apa So kalau kita recall so date akan write the details of the date to dia lah So macam saya punya sistem ni dia terlewat sikit lah 12 jam Say November tu. Lewat sehari macam tu lah lebih sehari lebih. So because of the time zone and so on lah. Sebab kita gunakan OS bosses Tak apa. Hmm, saya try to update ni dulu Uh, man, let me try. S, Y, and C. Sekejap command to update. Sekejap So time ni kita boleh actually few way lah kita boleh update kan. So sama ada menggunakan di here for example ni. So we look at the so Linux ni dia lain sikit lah. Kadang-kadang tools dia tu pun tak begitu system, date and time. So we are going to set this one to our time zone, and our time zone is Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur. So we are going to set this one to our time zone. So now dia dah tepat lah November 3. So kalau kita run date again, date. Okay, so dah betul lah So lagi satu kita gunakan man time did CTL ya. So ini nanti control the time ya. So we can also set this one to our time zone gunakan time did CTL lah ya. So itu tak apalah ya. So I do want it's not important for now ya. Okay, so date akan display di current lah ya. Current apa kita kata di details ya of our time lah. So this things we can ini output kan, they write to the terminal, so we can redirect ya. So kita menggunakan di greater than sign ya. So kita boleh specify apa namanya a space lah ataupun location where we want to save it ya. So save ya, timestamp for example ya. Okay, so add this /tmp ya. So kalau we want to save it to our home directory, kita save lah kat sini ya. So this is going to save it in our home directory ya. So ataupun just to be sure, kita buat macam ni ya. Okay, to save it to our home directory because tilde it will going to point to our home directory ya. So the one that we have learned last week ya. Okay, so now the details are no longer being displayed because it is being displayed ataupun display pula return to this file. Okay, so we do a cat concatenate this file so we can see the detail. So that way we redirect the output of the command instead of to the terminal. So now we save it in a file. Okay, a file. Again, we can copy the last 10 file from this log to another file. So any commands that is going to display something on the terminal. So for example, till -n 100. So 100 line of this command lah, ataupun this log. So var log secure. Oh, kena sudo sudo var log secure. Okay, so apparently ada tak banyak line lah. Mungkin saya boleh try another command lah ya. So till minus n 100 var log messages ya. Sudo sebab this is super user punya file ya. So you need to okay, so dia akan displaykan di 100 line lah ya, 100 line of the content of this file. Okay, so this thing we can save it to a file lah ya. Kalau kita tak nak displaykan on our monitor lah or screen ya. So I think we are going to katakan so log. Okay, so this one saya akan displaykan sebagai log ya. Nama file tu adalah log ya. So now kalau cat logs, so we are samalah, so kita akan display the same file. So if I want to apa ni? So if I want to append maknanya saya tak nak lose this one. So kalau saya so ls, for example ya, minus ls minus al, kemudian saya buat macam ni, the logs. So this is going to command macam ni. Ini akan override ya. So for example tadi yang file yang mula-mula tak apa ya. So kalau sebab macam ni dia akan override ya. Okay, so next saya concatenate this log file. Yang logs tadi is gone ya, because we have override ya. So we create that again ya. Okay, so store this one in logs. Okay, so we get this thing again, and then now we just, instead of kita override, kita akan append ya. So append guna double ampersand ya. Sorry, double greater than. Okay, and cat logs. So we will have sebab dia panjang, saya gunakan the command lah ya. So less log. Okay. So the first part are the logs. Okay. And the second part are the output from our ls minus al kat sini ya. Okay. So that is redirect lah ya. So redirect at the simplest scenario lah ya. So simplest scenario. Okay ya. So again, kalau kita punya, if we display some contents of the commands to just a text file lah ya. So we append tadi lah. So we append gunakan double ni lah ya. So ini another example. So instead of using command, so we just going to echo. Echo lah maksudnya we just write a new content to the file. So for example, echo, and then so new line of message. So we are going to append this to the log file. Okay, so less logs, so we can see so another message being written here. Okay, so is straightforward example menggunakan di redirection on the override with the single greater than or append on the greater than. Okay, so now we look at error. So kalau kita run clear kata kita run this find command find apa? Find is just to search for files in the directory or hierarchy. So itu kalau kita specify the file. Kalau kita tak specify, so we do a find in slash home OS boxes, for example. So dia akan displaykan all the files dalam kita punya directory lah. So ini adalah file yang we can access. So we can access, maknanya dia dump the output on the terminal as a standard output standard output on the terminal So for the normal user tadi tu so there are some error that we cannot access so let's say find slash etc for example saya kena add new user sebab OS Versus ni adalah admin juga lah. Tapi tunggu jap, saya add new user ya. So add user. Sudo add user 1 for example ya. Oh sorry, dia bukan add user add ya. So sudo user add. Dia terbalik silap ya. User je lah ya. User. So sudo passwd user. So the password is passwd. Alamak. Okay, so let me now change to that user. So su minus to user. So ini nanti kita learn on user management lah yang saya buat tadi. So ini just saya nak buat quickly ya. So kalau saya buat find ya, etc. So ada yang error lah ya. So ini yang permission denied ni adalah error ya. Okay, so there are some error. So kalau kita write the etc on the error itself je lah ya. So we want to check the error saja. So we run this command ya. And then the etc ya. Let's try this one dulu. 2. So maknanya error tadi kan. So we are going to append this to our home directory. Okay, and then errors. Okay, so we are trying to redirect the output yang ada error lah daripada command tu to this file. Okay, so mana yang tak error, dia akan display lah ya. Dia akan display to the terminal. So ini adalah yang non-error lah ya. Okay, so ada PWD here, home user. So let's see apa content error ni ya. So ini adalah command yang not successful lah ya. Permission denied tu is considered sebagai error. So dia akan write ya. Dia akan write the error from the command that kita run tadi ya. So ini command yang kita run. So we write it to the error file lah. So sama juga kita boleh specify a name ya. So minus name. So ini kita nak specify name file that we want to search ya. So search for this file. So file /etc minus name and look for this file ya, passwd. So what we will get a bunch of error lah ya, because we are not allowed to access this file. So Yang ini kita boleh redirectkan dia, ya. So in this case now, we are going to do the append, ya. So dua append to the logs file, error, sorry, errors. Okay, so we're going to append it to the error files now, yeah. So there are two entry that are successful where we can access, yeah, this file, the password file, yeah, from the etc and the etc pam.t, yeah. So if we look to ls less error, okay, so the rest tu adalah yang kita tak boleh access lah. So bunch of commands from the find etc password, yeah. Okay. Okay, ini yang tadi, ya, maknanya ada file yang successful, kita run, ada yang error, so we put the successful to one files and the error to another file, ya. So probably this one we are try to we try to override, do in the override mode lah, ya, so that we can see a new content to the file, ya. So run the find at slash etc minus name, and then we do this password file, passwd, and then the one that is standard output, which is successful, we are going to put this in the our home directory, and we put it as output file, yeah. And the error one, okay, so we specify the channel 2, yeah, channel 2, so we are going to redirect it to the new files, yeah. Let's see new file, that use new file, error 1, for example, yeah. So error 1, so the successful command will be put in output, and the unsuccessful or the error will be put in error 1, yeah. So there is no messages or standard output being written to the screen, yeah. So instead, dia akan return in this output, yeah. Okay, the successful one in output, the unsuccessful is in error, yeah. So error 1. Okay, so those are all the unsuccessful lah, ya. Maknanya ada error lah, ya, from the command because probably is not allowed, ya. Permission is denied, ya. Okay, ya. Again, kalau kita buat at device null pun, ya, so it is going to be removed lah. So let me delete everything dulu, ya. So remove semua so that we can see the impact, ya. So now there's no file, ya. No file is being written lah, ya, on my home directory. So I will now try to just delete the error message, ya. So do find, yeah. So the successful one will be in output, yeah. So the unsuccessful will be in device null, yeah. So will be deleted, yeah. Okay, so if you see only the output will be written, yeah, because this is success1, and those file that, I mean, those assets that has been denied is now, you don't see anywhere written lah, yeah, because we just simply remove it. Yeah. So, yang ni tadilah ya, kita tengok tadi di shortcut. So, everything dalam all message output, uh, those output that is successful and unsuccessful will be written in the same file. So this one, yeah. So this is the command, and then we use the ampersand and write. Yeah. So we are going to write this in a new file. Yeah. So folder and all messages. Yeah. So all messages will be the file name. Yeah. Okay. So this is the file. And then if we look at the content of the file, so we can see both, yeah, both the ni error kan, ni error, permission denied is error. So this is successful, okay, error, successful. So we write all the messages in the single file. Yeah. Okay, so that is the what we call as redirecting, yeah, redirections. Okay, kemudian pipeline. Pipeline ni maksudnya apa? So mungkin saya ada enough masa untuk explain je ya. So because kita dah dekat 11:30. So what does it mean pipeline? Yeah. Okay, pipeline tu maksudnya this the process, ya. Command kita hantar, ya, channel 0, and then the process is taking place, and then sama ada channel 1 as standard out or channel 2 as error lah, ya. So we take the standard out lah, ya. Standard out maknanya yang command dah successful. Okay, so the output from this command, ya. So ini katakan CLL yang pertama. Ya. So the output of the CL1 will be taken as the input of the CLI yang kedua. Ya. So itu kita panggilkan sebagai pipeline lah. Ya. So pipeline is equivalent of one or more command that are separated by the vertical bar. Ya. Ini vertical bar ni. Okay, so pipeline connects the standard output of the first command to the next command. Ya. Okay, so ini dia punya vertical bar. Ya. So for example, yeah, so ls minus l usr bin, yeah. Okay. So ls minus l slash usr bin, yeah. So this is very long command lah, yeah. So long one, so we need to just browse all the way up if we want to see the rest of it. Yeah. So ataupun kita just dump the whole output of this command, output of the command tadi, ya, of this command tadi, ls minus l ni, so kita dump the output as the input of another command, ya. The command is less, ya. So bila kita do like this, we can browse, ya, because the less command tu, we have the capability to browse the content up and down lah, ya, browse up or browse down, ya. Okay, macam tu, ya, up and down, due to the less command, lah. So in the way that kalau kita nak explain it secara explicitly, so what we are doing actually is from this command lah. For example, we take this command. So what we're doing is that we dump this command to a file, to a file, and then the file ni barulah kita access the content lah, kita access the content ataupun view the content. So there are two process being implemented lah ataupun is being executed. So one is uh, 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 store the output of this command dalam file and then access the file. So these are two process, or you just simply run everything here using the pipeline kat sini, which the vertical bar. So there are some other things lah. So contohnya ls minus l, with ls, which is we are displaying the ls command, and then the wc minus l is to count the number of received file from ls, and then print to the value to the terminal. So those are some example lah. So some example of commands that we can pipeline. Tak semua. Maknanya we have to be sure that this command an output which we can do with another command. And then there are what we call as this one, dia panggil apa, saya lupa lah. Dia panggil sebagai T-join. So T-join ataupun T-pipe lah. So ini lebih banyak redirection lah. So ada yang nanti tak apalah, ini mungkin kita akan sambung dalam lab nantilah. Sambung dalam lab, we look at this T-join. What does it mean? Sebab kita dah 11.10. So kalau saya nak explain ni pun memang dia punya pendek, tapi nak explain agak panjang lah. Kita menggunakan example. Okay, so another one is the T-join. So pipeline, and tadi itu is the taking the output of one command and make it as the standard input to the next command. So maksudnya the command must be run in sequence lah. So the first command must be completed first, barulah kita run the second command. So using the pipe vertical bar. So we are using the vertical bar. Okay. So I think then there is quiz you can do. And then the Vim lah. So Vim ni is an editor. So saya tunjuk ke dalam lab juga lah. Sejam ni quite short lah nak cover one chapter. So we continue this one dalam lab lah. Changing the shell environment as well. So this is also important lah. Sebab the shell tu kita can be very flexible. We can create some environment for variable and assign some value to the variable and use it in our command. The variable tu we use it and then the next the lab exercise. For chapter 5. So I think tak apalah. So kita sambung dalam lab. Okay, so remind me dalam lab nanti saya akan bagi your first assignment lah, lab assignment for the lab work. Okay, so ada soalan tak? So, Muhammad Haziq ni ada tak? Haziq tak ada. Muhammad Zarif, Irfan? Tak ada. Syafiqah? Tak ada ya, sebab tak apa.
Saya
Okey.
mana saya?
Ya?
Haziq.
Oh, Haziq. Haziq Muhammad Kamal
Muhammad.
Arifin ya?
Betul.
Okey.
Lagi saya.
Okey, sama. Zarif ada tak Zarif? Zarif Irfan ada? Ada. Ada.
Saya.
Ada ya? Okey. Tak ada. Tak ada. Okey, so itu saja. So, itu saja dan kita akan continue in the lab lah tomorrow and next tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, sir. Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ya,
Thank you,
sama.
sir.
Sama.